welcome to the Hub Network, where we talk books, authors, and publishers. I am Shenitha Finesse, CEO and founder of She Publishing LLC. And this month, we're kicking off an inspiring new series called The Yellow Brick Road to Purpose and Profit. Now, here's a little challenge for you. Whoever can tell us why we chose this title will be entered to win a free copy of one of the amazing books we'll be discussing throughout the month. And as always, we have a special treat in store for you tonight, actually. I'll be diving into chapter 7 of From Projects to Publisher, Unleashing Your Daily Brilliance. And joining me is none other than the phenomenal Kimmoly LaBoo. And she will be talking about her book as well. And the title of that book is, I probably should let her tell you that, but no, I'm going to tell it, How to Build a Six-Figure Business While Working a 9 to 5. Okay? So without further ado, let's welcome our guest, Kimmoly LaBoo.
Hello.
Hey,
I'm excited to be here.
man, how are you? How has your day been?
It's been pretty mellow. My Baltimore Ravens just won a football game, so doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
I heard that. I heard that.
Needed that win.
Well, so, I am so happy to be having this conversation with you. And literally, this kind of happened on a whim, right? I was actually going to be on here talking about my book, and I saw your book come across social media. And when I saw it, I'm like, this is the perfect conversation for right now, with
Yeah,
everything that's going on right now with the shutdown and just so many things going on in the world. And I'm like, I have to have my publisher friend
yeah,
on here, publisher and author, so we can get to the nitty gritty of, sharing gems with the world.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. It's definitely, I didn't know when I released it that it would be right on time for this moment. I know it was on time for that moment, but who, knew where all of this was heading and where we would be today. And so I'm so happy that it is now available as a resource because right now, I think people could, definitely benefit from knowing what to do even when they go back into the workplace. So I'm looking forward to
Yeah,
the conversation.
yeah, absolutely. So, since you are new to the Sheep Hub Network, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to become not only an author, but a publisher?
Wow. What led me to become an author back in, I think it was like 2006, so quite some time ago, was actually writing was my path to healing. So, my mantra is there is healing through writing. And I believe that because that's what happened for me. Writing became a way of release for me after divorce and going through several difficult years. That was what God whispered into my ear like, if you can't speak it, write it. And at the time, I wasn't able to speak my feelings. Productively and effectively. So, he whispered to me to write it. And so that's where my writing journey began. And I really thought that it was a one and done type deal. Never saw myself writing a book, never aspired to be an author, wasn't one of those people who I've been writing since I was a kid. No, that wasn't me. But once I did it, it just kept going and going and going.
Mhm.
And so I've authored well over 20 books now,
Wow.
and have then once you do a thing, people want to know how you did that thing, and I'm sure you can attest to this. Once you write a book, everybody's like, well, how did you do that? And so then I started with book coaching, and then years later, many years later, I ended up launching my own publishing company, and that was just because I was getting people to the finish line, with the book coaching and then sending them all somewhere else to get published. And so I was like, well, what sense does that make? And then God gave me the vision for LaBoo Publishing Enterprise. And here we are.
Wow. So like our journey is similar, and I think shared that with you before. So yeah, I'm not one who was writing at 7 and all this and that. No. COVID happened
Ah,
and I decided to write a book for my family, because I'm like, "Hey, I don't know if I'm about to croak or what, but I just
right.
want something that
Legacy.
they can have." Yeah, legacy, exactly, and so I did it. I didn't even tell nobody I did it, and, I was like, "Okay, so who's gonna publish this book?" And then I just went to the state site, put the name in and everything. I called my mom and said, "I don't know what I just did, but we about to be on the job training because I just started a publishing company."
Nice.
So, yeah, so it wasn't writing, it wasn't coaching, it was just I wanted to leave something for the family.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so we're gonna get started. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are out there, we want to know where you're from. So put your name, where you're from in the chat so that we can shout you out and everything. And then also remember, we have a challenge going on. We want to know, why is this series called The Yellow Brick Road to Purpose and Profit? Okay. Now, the two books we will be talking about today is again from Project to Publisher and
How to how to build a six-figure business while working a 9 to 5. It's a practical guide to running a successful business while working full time.
yes, yes. All right, so I'm going to start with a question for you.
Okay.
And it is in how to build a six-figure business while working a 9 to 5. You talk about not eating the whole elephant. How does that idea relate to the journey of purpose and pacing yourself towards profit?
Okay, so I believe it relates to it because sometimes we have these big grandiose ideas, right? I want to
Mhm.
start a business and I want it to be all these things, and we jump out there not really knowing what we're getting ourselves into, and we're trying to do all the things all at once, and it doesn't really work. And so taking bite-sized things, learning and researching and figuring things out as you go along can be better than just jumping in full force and just having it all fall apart. It's too much pressure, I think, on a person to try to figure it out all at once. I also believe in asking for the help that you need instead of trying to figure it. Where they say it's you don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? There are enough
Oh,
people who have already done what you're trying to do. And so I believe in, asking for the help that you need, and also taking your time, using your discernment, asking for guidance and wisdom along the way in order to get to that purpose fulfilled.
yeah. And I absolutely love that. There is what I would say is getting your book, because I have your book as well. It was a really nice companion to the two from projects to publisher,
Yeah,
navigating the chapters of life while maximizing your lane. And in this book, I talk about making small footprints towards your big dreams and not taking the whole gamut of what the things that you want to do. Like, you want to take those little small steps to make it to the large goal,
right.
that you're looking to, because otherwise you're going to be overwhelmed because
Yes,
you're already wear so many roles, so many hats that you wear.
that's
For
true.
us, we women, mother, hey, I consider myself to be a corporatepreneur.
Mhm.
I work the corporate lane, and then hey, that 9 to 5, as you were speaking, that
Yeah,
six-figure 9 to 5, and that's actually what contributes to this publishing company. You
absolutely.
know, um,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's yeah, right.
I talk a lot about that in this book, because some people will jump out there, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to start my business. And I'm like, whoa, slow down, hold up, hold up. You're that job can be the very thing that, allows you to build what you're trying to build without falling flat on your face, without taking such a financial risk. um, it will help to be that cushion for you and allow you to build in a way that's productive versus getting out there and then figuring out, and then finding out, um, it's a lot more than I thought. It's going to take a lot more than I thought. And so there's nothing wrong with doing both and building while you're there, so that someday you can potentially step away and run your business full time.
And I'm glad you said that for the viewers to hear that, because
Mhm.
that's what it is. Someone will see what you're doing and
Yes.
they will say, "Oh, I can do that." And hey, maybe you can. But then when you actually get into doing it, then
Hmm.
you be like, "Hold up, what?"
Yeah. Yeah. And that too is because we make it look easy, right? We make it look easy,
Hmm.
but people don't
Yes,
understand sometimes the amount of work that goes into publishing a book and bringing that whole thing to fruition. And we make it look so easy that some people do think, I want to do that. But it's like, okay, there's 56 components to this. So,
exactly. It's a lot of different things that go into this. And before I actually had sister publishing companies, you were one of my confidants,
yeah,
and we have other publishers in this literary industry that we talk to and communicate with. And we kind of touched on some of the challenges that we've had
yeah.
as publishers, and you don't see that on the screen. You don't see that when we're out in book tours,
Hmm.
with a smile on our face, trying to make book sales or trying to help our authors make book sales.
Yeah,
You don't know a lot of the stuff that's happening behind the scenes. It could go into the legal ramification, it can go a lot of different places.
absolutely.
But, right?
Yeah. And it was nice, when we first connected, and we had that first phone call. It was
Hmm.
so great to talk to another fellow publisher that got
Hmm.
and it's like, we can talk about it, at ease and with ease, and just kind of support one
Yes.
another. Have you had this happen? Yes, child, I've dealt with this. And yeah, so that was very
Yes.
nice to find someone that was actually willing to have the conversation and just,
Hmm.
you know, support one another. It's not a competition. Like we're supporting each other.
Absolutely.
And so I
Yeah.
be
The
looking
world
and
is
hearing you
huge.
on behind the scenes and watching your Instagram, like, oh, this is fabulous. So it's really
Look, I'm
great.
doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's been really great.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have one other question
Mhm.
that deals with the purpose and beginnings, and then we're gonna jump into some other stuff, some fun stuff too. But so both of our books started from very real places of growth and
Mhm.
grit. What was your yellow brick moment? The moment you realized your path was leading you somewhere bigger than where you started?
Wow. Um, I believe it was at the launch of LaBoo Publishing Enterprise, our business, because, like I said, for all those years I had been helping people, and then I happened to have the opportunity to move to Hawaii, and I lived in Hawaii. And while I was there, it was all of this. It was a peaceful place, which opened up all this clarity. And it was like God showed me a bigger picture, right? And so I had done an anthology from there, um, to actually. I had done an anthology. It was around divorce, a threefold cord broken, what happens when Christian marriages fail. And I flew back to Maryland to do the book launch. And that was before the publishing company, right? I just wanted to do this project. And when I came back from that whole launch and everything, that's when God gave me the vision for LaBoo Publishing. And it was like, you have all of the resources, you have built a solid foundation around publishing, you know the people, you have the things to do what need to be done. It's time to take it to the next
Mhm.
level. And so when he showed me that, I just jumped right in. Didn't know what I was doing, but I knew that, like you said, it was something bigger. It's like it's something bigger here. And so I just embraced it and kind of ran with it. And I was like, okay, God, let's see what this turns into. And so 8 years later, we're coming up on 8 years in February. And so yeah. So that's kind of when I knew it's like let's do this.
And congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I will tell you, I'm lighting up like a holiday Christmas tree. I don't know if you can see my jacket going light blue,
Oh,
blue, but I have another computer that is just flashing. I'm like, I gotta get that. Okay. So,
tis the
all
season.
right. So that's what I'm saying. Look, this is the
All right.
perfect show, right? So, so all right. So talking about the yellow brick moment, and I'll answer this next question too.
Okay.
This is gonna be a fun one. Okay. If your purpose had a color, would it be yellow or something completely different? And if it is a different color, why that color?
I would probably say it's orange. It's between the yellow and orange kind of colors.
Ooh, like the
Um,
fall kind of colors?
yeah, although I'm completely a summer girl. But the orange, the orangish yellow, for some
Mhm.
reason, is calming. Is calming for me.
Yes.
I have a lot of those colors in my house, in my living area. I just find them to be soothing. No like real rhyme or reason for it, but
Yeah.
the orange, yellow kind of theme.
Okay. But man, but something made you make this book yellow. Okay.
Um,
And I guess for me,
well, for me, it was a little bit of research. It was for the cover of the book. So yellow.
please.
I went to the research department, which is what I call Barnes and Noble. It's the research department. And
I
I was
love it.
and so I was looking at, business books and, what
Mhm.
popped and, what looked really, what I thought looked good, what made me feel happy. And there
Yes.
was actually a cookbook that I looked at. It was a gentleman on cookbook. He had his face on the cover and it was yellow and he was smiling and he just radiated happiness. And I was like, hey.
Yes.
And so when I thought about the colors, and then I went to my other research department, Facebook, and put some covers out there, and I let my community help. What do you think?
Love this.
And so
Okay.
that's how it came to be, the yellow, and then I put the red letters with it. So yeah, so it
Well,
was a
and
little
I
bit of
mean,
research,
our
a little
books,
market research.
well, I'm loving that you're calling the research department
Oh yeah, I do have
Barnes and
Barnes and
Noble
Noble
and
is my research
Facebook.
department.
I
Yeah.
love it. And for whatever reason, our books are similar. And you know
Yes.
what? There was no research for me. I didn't go to the different research departments. I went
Okay.
to my graphic designer. I said, "Look, I need a book. I
Yeah.
need you to put this picture on it because my who was it? My daughter took this picture of me.
Okay.
The background is the projects that I used to live in, the Robert
Okay.
Taylor
Yeah.
Project homes. And then this, and when he put that together,
Yeah.
I
It came
said, "Oh
together
yeah, this
nicely.
is it. Period.
Yeah.
Period."
It looks wonderful.
So, man, thank you. Like, and I'm gonna tell the viewers if you have any questions for us, definitely put it in the chat because we want to make sure that we're answering your questions. I will say these two books, you definitely want to get them before we continue with the questions. I do want to let you guys know where you can get these books from, and also there will be a winner somewhere down the line this month. You may win one of these books,
Yeah.
okay? Um, Now, I'll tell you, you can get from projects to publisher, navigating the chapters of life while maximizing your lane on www.shepublishingllc.com. And you can also get it from the major retailers like Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all those others. And then, Kimmoly, where can they get your book from as well?
Amazon. Yeah. And like you
Okay.
said, and they're the major booksellers, but Amazon, that's easiest for people to remember.
Yeah. So we are going to be embarking on a new year. I can't believe we're going to be back in 2027.
I
And
know.
we are encouraging you guys to read and to, um, go from what damn, yeah, to profit, to have some inspiration in your life. And I'm going to tell you, these two books you definitely want to have in your library. All right. So before I, with my questions, I want to know, what is it that you'd like to share about your book? And I assume, did you work a job and then, was this inspiration from you doing this?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say tell us that, but then tell us, like, maybe I know every just about every part, the book is a page turner. Okay. I just kept going in and in, but once you tell us your journey in doing this, can you tell us one part in the book that you really want to share with us tonight?
Sure. So I worked for the federal government for 39 and a half years. I just retired.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too, right?
Yeah. I didn't know. I mean, I read
Oh,
some in the book. I didn't know that though beforehand.
good.
But
Oh,
yeah, 39 and a half years. I just came out in May. And so for me, the entire time I was building my business, I was working this 9 to 5. And so for me, it was like I had two full-time jobs. And I'm sure you can relate to that. When people would ask me, do you do this full time? I would say, yeah, I do, because I would literally work 8 hours a day on the job, come home and come and sit down at my desk and work another 8, right? But that part was fun to me. The second half of my day was what my love was, right? So I was pouring everything that I had into this, and I was building and building and building. And eventually I hit that 6-figure mark. And when I hit it, I wasn't even really aware that I hit it. I was in a business mastermind, and they were asking for our numbers, and I won an award that year. But I didn't know until I, really started sitting down and digging into my numbers, like we should do anyway. But I
mhm.
did that working, and so that was one of the things that clicked for me, was like, well, my God, like if I can do this while I'm working a 9 to 5, how much more could I do if I was working it full time? So, um, yeah. So this is my story is woven through, throughout all the tips and everything that are in here of what I exactly did. But one of my favorite, well, I have two favorite chapters. One of them is not working harder for them than you work for you. Now, I don't know if that's
Mm,
exactly what I titled it. I think that's what
I
I
love
titled the chapter,
that.
but it is that, like, we go to work, we bust our tails, give everything we have on the job, and then to our own business, we're like giving it second best. Like, no, we need to
Right.
give as much to our business as we're giving to theirs, because ours is what's going to continue on once we leave there, right? Hopefully. And so
Right.
I talk a lot about that. And then my second favorite chapter in here is talking about skill stacking. And it is one of the things that allowed me to settle my little self down at work, because I, like, kept a resignation letter up in my flipper at work for the day when I would be able to say adios. Because I really wanted to be working
Mm.
full time. And so I had it on ready all the time. I was like, one of these days. Um, and I would be so upset because I wanted to come out. I really wanted to get out. And it used to drive me bananas. Like really, I was just always anxious about it until I started to realize that my job could contribute to the success of my business. And what I mean
Yes.
by that, when I talk about skill stacking, I started to look at my job differently. I started to look at it from the lens of what are the things that I'm learning here that could also benefit me knowledge wise in running my own business. So if it was um, like them bringing in, because the government will bring in the best speakers, right? So if I'm thinking about the fact that I want to speak and be on stages and everything, every time they brought in a speaker, and we had some really good ones, big names come in, I was down in the auditorium. And people are like, "You're going to go to that?" Yes, I am. Because I'm not looking at it like you're looking at it. I'm looking at what has the speaker done to get into the agency? How are they
Absolutely.
commanding the stage? How are they, handling themselves? How are they fielding the questions? I'm looking at all of the mechanics of that, right? In meetings, I'm looking at how the execs are running the meetings, the type of questions that they're asking. Um, just so many things. Like I started to look at it from that lens. So in everything, I was looking at it dual hatted. I'm here to do this job. I'm learning this for the job. In classes, any type of classes that I took, they had a dual benefit. So I'm going to take this class over here on managing meetings because I'm going to need to know how to do that in my own business, right? And just so many things, so many aspects of the job that could transfer into um, something that could be beneficial in running my business is how I started to look at it. And when I started to look at it through that lens, going to work seemed like less of a chore. It was less daunting because I'm like, what can I learn today? you know, so that I talk a lot about that in the skill stacking in the book, and how to do that, and how to take your leave, how to maximize your leave. You're not just taking days off to go on vacations. If you're building a business, you're taking leave, planning it out so that you can maximize that to benefit your business. So, just so many great nuggets in the book that I shared from my time of, working in the federal government and running my business at the same time.
Yeah. And I absolutely love those gems that you dropped in the book and tonight because it is
So,
so important that we, if we're going to give it to someone else, give it to yourself too.
that's
Make
right.
that time for yourself. Work hard for your own self
That's right.
as well. And then skill setting, let me tell you, that is one that, people really have to think about. I remember is I do work for the federal government
Mhm.
right now. And I remember someone said, "Man, I gotta go to this meeting with my manager. I do not feel like going to all these meetings, this and that, da da da." And I was just like, man, like, well, have you ever thought about it from the other mindset that maybe you attend that meeting and you see what's going on and you may acquire her skills because
Mhm.
maybe you might be that next manager,
That's right.
to be able to get in a room with someone else who's in a bigger room.
Mhm.
You don't want to do that, girl? You bet. And it was like she thought about it like, you got a point.
Yeah.
You finna be at a whole nother table, and if she's not there, you have to cover for her. Take that as an opportunity,
That's right.
you know? So somebody's coming to speak, somebody's doing this. Yes, you take that opportunity to see how that could be a benefit for you or your business or your legacy or something that you're coming up
Absolutely.
with.
Yeah.
They say they say that like Samsung and all these other, they said Nike started
Mm.
as a college school project or something.
Yeah.
And look now, probably everybody household
Got a
got
book.
a piece of Nike clothing, shoes,
You are
something.
so right.
So it's like you can have an idea and you can do these things while working your 9 to 5. Um,
Absolutely.
and so in my book, I would say, so obviously today I'm kind of sharing a little bit about the chapter Unleashing Your Daily Brilliance.
Mhm.
And so I would say that the two sections in there that, you like them all, but the two that I want to speak on tonight is the first one is let your brain rest from the noise.
Mm.
And that's something that I feel we have to continue to do sometimes.
Yeah.
Life is just going and going and going. You're working your 9 to 5, then you 5 to 9. And it's like you still have to make time to rest your brain, to make time for yourself. And so while you may want to build a 6 figure business or become a 6 figure businesswoman, whatever it is, you still want to do that for yourself.
Mhm.
And I was actually had to, what's those machines that you go into when, they're like round,
Oh,
they're
the
like
MRI.
MRIs.
Yeah, I read that about you going into the MRI tunnel.
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. It was like, first of all, I didn't want to be in a small
Yeah.
circle. But secondly, my brain would not stop.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
I'm thinking about what I gotta do here, what I gotta do. It's like rest your brain. Like
Yeah.
rest your brain from the noise. Just relax.
Mhm.
Okay. And the second thing, which goes into health and well-being, is wash your hands. Okay. And even though it's
Yeah.
simple, wash your hands, it's just basically saying, you can start fresh. It's
Mhm.
okay. Um, and I put a couple of quotes in here. It's never too late or too early to work towards being the healthiest you. And my mother, she always tells me, look, you can have a 6 figure business, you can be making 6 figures, but guess what? If you ain't healthy, if you ain't
Don't.
here to see it, what's the point?
That's right.
So I definitely want to make it clear to our viewers that, yeah, while you may be hustling or whatever it is you're doing, you still need
Mhm.
to make some time for yourself, your family. I don't always balance this well. That needs to be the next yellow book, balancing all
Yeah.
the hats that you are wearing, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah. I like
Yeah.
that whole taking rest part, especially, you know, people who work, in agencies like we worked. It's like somehow people think it's a flex to have 300 hours of leave stacked up on the books and stuff like that, or
Oh my God.
240. And I'm like, I ain't never. I maximize my leave.
I'm
But
using my time, baby. What you talking about?
people
They
think that's a
proud.
flex. And I'm like, what are you doing? Do things
Exactly.
for yourself. Like you said, take time to rest, take time to build something outside of this. Because so many people,
Yes.
what I've seen, just even in what's been going on the last few months and everything, there's so many people who are like afraid to leave or afraid to retire, afraid because they don't know what they will do once they leave the job. I'm like, oh, I never had that
Yes.
like thought. Um, but it's because they haven't taken the time to explore the things outside of work. It becomes all consuming.
Mhm.
So I like what you say, about rest, and even just like stepping away from that and taking time for self, even outside of the business thing,
Yes.
but just taking time for yourself. Because I see and watch people run themselves into the ground for the company,
Mm.
and it's like they would replace you by tomorrow morning if you didn't show up today. And
Come
trying to get
on.
people to understand and realize that it's sometimes hard. It's like you think you're so important and you got to be there, and it's not going to work if you're not there. Honey, let
Yes.
me tell you, I've seen it time and time
Come
again.
on.
People check out, and within a week or days in a week or whatever, they have filled the spot.
Yeah.
There's somebody new in the seat. So this whole, going hard at the detriment of your own health, it's just not it. It's not it.
It's not. Yeah. So, viewers, like my question to you guys is, what does self-care look like for you, when you're walking that yellow brick road towards profit without losing your peace? Like, what are you doing? And, um, I don't know if you journal, I don't know if you paint and sip or hang out with your friends or what you're doing, but I would definitely, think about, am I actually doing that? Okay, because that is so, so important.
Yeah.
Um, now, my one of my last questions is, let me see. Now, I got two questions for you. I want to know, I want to know what's a song that instantly gets you in your boss woman mindset or get you energized? Is it a song? Is it a movie? What is it?
Oh my goodness. Like my song choices are so revealing of like what's like, yeah. Um, it's funny you asked this because I remember being in the car with my oldest son one time, and he's in his 30s, right? And in the club came on.
Wait, what came on?
In the club, who's that? 50 Cent.
Ooh, yeah.
And I was jamming. He's like, "Mom." I was like, "Mind your business. Mind your business." I don't even go to the club, but that song, like for me, it's like, yeah.
Yes.
And people who know me will probably never think that, but
I would never think
it
that.
was.
I would never think you bopping to 50 Cent in the
Yeah,
club. Like, what?
I low key, me and 50. Look, that's a whole nother story.
No.
Too much for this interview. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that'll be part two, y'all. Part two of the Yellow
That's
Brick
funny.
Road series, okay?
So yeah,
All
that's
right.
one of the
And
songs. Hmm.
okay.
Was there a part two to
But
the
you,
question?
what is it? I was thinking, is it a movie or is it a song or,
Yeah,
but
song.
it is a song that gets you motivated to let me do this. Cause when I'm at work, sometimes I need that music to just go
Hmm.
and
Of
play
course
so I
not.
can just
All I
get in
do
my
is
little
win.
groove.
Right? All I do is win. Win, no matter what. Okay, of
Oh,
course
I
that.
like that one.
Me and my group, we meet every Sunday afternoon, and that's our theme song for us. It's four of us entrepreneurs that get together, just talk
Oh,
business
I
and
love
goals for the
that.
upcoming week. And so that's our song. We actually played it today
I
before we hung.
love that.
So that, and then movies for me, anything entrepreneurial, I'm watching it. So any of the shows that have anything to do with entrepreneurship, um, I can't think of the one. It's the guy who's the millionaire, who goes around and helps businesses. Um,
That's not the shark. No, that ain't
it's
even a
either the
movie.
Prophet. It's either the Prophet is one of them. He has two of them. But any entrepreneurial shows, of course, like things like Shark Tank, any documentaries
Mhm.
on people who are building their business, like I'm all the way in. Any movies
Yeah.
that have something to do with publishing or somebody who wrote a book, I'm watching
Oh,
it. I'm always
I
interested.
like the movies.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So anything like that, those things really motivate me, and yeah, I like that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
seeing how
I
other
didn't
people are
realize.
maneuvering business, I love that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like you're getting your gems and your deposits from
Yeah,
several different places, and that's
yeah,
what people have to. They have to take advantage of the opportunity of everything, of
absolutely.
music, of movies, of silence of nature, which by the way, green would have been my color.
Oh, is that
If green is my favorite color. I love the color
why
nature.
green?
Um, why green? Because it's the color of nature. Like the
Okay.
green trees outside, the green grass,
Mhm.
anything nature. And when you talk about like that burnt orange kind of color,
Mhm.
I love the nature fall
Oh,
colors.
yeah.
I, yeah, and I will say I'm a winter girl
Ooh.
because I enjoy the snow.
Ooh,
Now I'm not from Hawaii,
I do
so
not. Like, when I was living in Hawaii, I was in all my glory because it was like 83 degrees every day with a cool breeze blowing. Oh my gosh, your girl was in heaven.
wow.
When I moved back to Maryland, I was like, Lord, please don't let it snow like the first winter. Like, let me ease back into it because this is a lot.
Wow.
So green, I love
Man, so this has been really amazing talking to you and getting together
it.
with you
Yeah,
and having this conversation. And man, like I'm hoping like we can do this again. And I don't know, maybe I can
absolutely.
build onto the conversation. You can come back and we can get another person, you know, off
Yeah,
the yellow brick road, situation going because we want to give some inspiration to, the world.
absolutely. I'm down for it.
So yeah. Okay, look, this is how
Yeah,
this came to part. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
Yeah, anytime. Just let me know. This was
Yes, well, so it was definitely been a pleasure to have you. Thank you. You guys will be seeing Kimberly again. And so until next time, I do have just one announcement to make. I do want to let you guys know that in 2026 we have something called the Lit Fest that's coming to you. It'll be like the first weekend in October in 2026. And so I will be putting all that information in the chat for anybody who's interested, any authors, publishers, writers, ghostwriters, anybody, graphic designers. We're going to bring you guys together. You can sell your services, sell your books, and different things like that. But that is something that's going to be new that me and the other sister companies are going to be bringing to the Chicagoland area this year. And then we're going to hit North Carolina in 2027. So I am super excited about that. But again, until next time, and y'all gotta come next time because y'all gonna want to hear this next show. It's coming on board. But anyway, until next time, I we will see you later.
Hi.